Well, Edelweiss got started out of a smaller company that was a pure retail store in Winchester, Massachusetts, and then moved into a larger industrial space purely as a wholesale factory, a wholesale place to be basically the pastry chef to hotels and restaurants. So we made more and more small pieces of pastry, and with that of course comes cutting various pastries. And I looked into a lot of different, there are two major different machines out there. One is an ultrasonic cutting and the other one is reciprocating blades. They have their advantages and disadvantages, and with the variety of products that I'm making, the regular guillotine type cutting of an ultrasonic cutter would have fulfilled, would have fit the bill for one or two or three items, but it didn't let me grow and be more creative with products. And it would have just necessitated preparing pieces, sheet pans, to get into a frame that then wouldn't move when the ultrasonic knife or horn comes down. So that wasn't the optimal situation. And the reciprocating knives are good for certain types of products, cream products, sponge products, but the moment you get into something harder, into a sticky Napoleon or a harder Florentine or so, that's when you actually reach the limit of those machines. And I always held off getting either one of those machines because I said it doesn't quite seem to be the right thing. And then a friend of mine once said, well, why don't you try Waterjet? And I said, well, I haven't seen them. I usually go to the trade shows here and in Europe to see what is coming up and what is new. And went on the internet and found this machine here. And it sort of did fit the bill for whatever I want to do. It's the right machine because, again, it allows me to be very innovative with shapes. And I thought that is the thing that we need here. So that's how I ended up with the Waterjet. Well, when we start up front, the part of the problem with the reciprocating blades is that, yes, they do need to be cleaned. And there are various systems out there where they use steam-injected scrubber that goes back and forth between every cut. And when you get into cream products, that is definitely what you need. You have to be careful that it then doesn't fall down onto the product. The blades, like everything else, like every knife, the blades will have to be changed. They get dull after so and so many hours of cutting, I'm sure. I don't have experience with it, but I have experience with knives, and the blade is a knife. They will need changing. I have a horizontal slicing machine actually behind me. Those blades need to be changed. So the cross-contamination, well, if you do not take the blades apart, clean them, sanitize them between products, yeah, that is very possible. If you cut something with peanuts, for instance, that would sort of translate over into another product. Unless you clean it, and then it's sort of even questionable there. But yeah, there is a possibility of that. And of course, it's a mechanical piece, so it will wear down. You will have to exchange blades. Water comes down once. It's some people, when I spoke to them about the machine, they said, "Oh, is it recirculating water?" I said, "Hell no, it is fresh water, and it uses very, very little. So it is not something where you say, "Oh, I throw water out by the bucket and waste more natural resources." In the scheme of things, between a double rack dishwasher with 50 horsepower motor and those wash and steam cycles, in one cycle I need more in that dishwashing machine than I will need in a Waterjet for the whole day. Well, the cut, the precision of the cut, the absolute straight sides on every product that I put in there, especially when I have product that then afterwards will go through a chocolate enrober. If the sides are perfectly plumb and straight and I don't have a flare inside or outside where chocolate would run over rather than down alongside the product, that is actually, it was immediately apparent. Even before I bought the machine, I said this will be an advantage. The second advantage is that due to the size of thickness, you can't say thickness, is actually the thinness of the Waterjet. I have a lot less waste of the product itself. I've seen that with several sheets. If I make him a little bit smaller, I come up with the same product as I had before, and I get a little bit more efficiency out of it. I get 1 or 2 more rows of product out of it, which is very nice. Before we set 2 or 3 people up, 2 people sort of starting to score first and measure the product out, and then another 2 people cutting it. And those were usually good people that really knew how to cut and knew how to measure. And now these people are actually making the product and have the machine do the measuring and cutting. It is a cut quality that I haven't seen before. And when I looked at a few of those things, I said to myself, they look so good in real life as if they were photoshopped on a computer to make every line absolutely perfect, every corner absolutely perfect. It was really an amazing feeling just seeing how beautiful those cuts come out. Nobody wants to use a knife anymore. I guess the knife manufacturers lost out on that one because everybody just says, look, I can't even start to think about cutting it and be happy with what I cut compared to what the machine does. It's that simple. The sales manager, account manager, when she saw the first few pieces, she said, you couldn't make it any better, so you made it look more beautiful. I said, well, I'll try to do whatever I can to have a product, because the other ones are all either a square or a rectangle. And if there's an interesting shape in there, something other than a square and a rectangle, people, I'm sure, are more likely to say, oh, this is interesting, this is nice, this is a new... Even if they don't know exactly how to formulate it, it will just, I think, speak to them and say, oh, this is different. And people do like to try different things. We have been doing for a while, making a private label. Company almost started that way. I made certain items for one restaurant and different items for another restaurant down the street, so that one restaurant doesn't have the same as the other restaurant. Because then you have a commodity, and then all of a sudden it becomes a price issue. In this situation with a lot of customers, we did custom products where we design a product for them, that works for them, that works in their market, and so they have something that the competition does not have, and that is what we do a lot. We do a lot of private labeling that way, because they can come to their customers with a product that the customer doesn't find anywhere else. With our Waterjet system, we can create different shapes that somebody that has only knives reciprocating or sonic knives cannot, because you only limited to straight cuts with those systems, whereas here you have the ability to do curves, corners, triangles, just about any shape that you could imagine. You can program it into it and come up with it. The thing is, and one of the reasons why I always like to go to European shows is because in Europe there are more bakeries that are a little bit smaller, maybe my size, maybe half the size, but they always invest heavily into machinery over there. And so European manufacturers make machinery that is not dominating the production process, but again helping the production process. I am sure I could have custom made a machine that cuts triangular brownies to the tune of 100,000 an hour. That's not the business I am in. I need something that is versatile, can take care of small quantities as well as larger quantities. And usually manufacturers in Europe are more sensitive to that market. The fact that when I got over there, that I heard from Mr. Benito de Orte that it's a KMT pump and intensifier, I said to myself, well, that makes it even sweeter, because if I do need any parts here in the United States, KMT is more or less just around the corner. But the parts availability is there. The equipment, KMT has been making high pressure intensifying equipment, I think, for a long time, so for 40 years. So the experience is there, and parts and service, of course, as well. And so it's all really worked together, that I said this is really something that makes sense.